Thank you. And yes, Happy New Year. Welcome to yet another episode of Business Chronicles here at Studio 84. My name is Solomon Tumwesigye, one of your hosts here at Studio 84, and this Business Chronicles yet again. Studio 84 is a podcast studio located along Lithuli Avenue in Bugolobi, Kampala, Uganda, and it's a space set up to facilitate individuals and organizations, businesses tell their stories, success stories, and along the way position themselves as authorities at what they do, because we believe that everyone is an authority at something. If it's your first time or you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, set the reminder, hit the bell, so you can be the first one to know for every episode that comes out. And today, my very first guest of 2025, I'm excited. A lady I have known for a couple of years, but closer in not too long ago. The first time I met her, confession. She was serious, speaking serious things. For a moment, I couldn't keep up. I said, when I grow up, I want to be like this chick. Marjorie, you're welcome to Business Chronicles.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Marjorie is from Unravel. Unravel is no, I'll not even try.
Okay.
I'll not even try. So I'll let Marjorie introduce herself. She's also known as Coach Marjorine. I know she is a team building facilitator. I know she's a coach. She's a team's coach. Let me not spoil it.
Yes.
Marjorie, please introduce yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, Solomon, for having me. Yes, my name is Marjorine Nantambi. I am the CEO and founder, Unravel Coaching and Consultancy, where we do capacity buildings, trainings for companies. We do team buildings. And out there, people know me mostly for the financial literacy trainings that I do.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm also a finance coach and personal growth, big on vision, goal setting. That is who I am. I love seeing people grow. I love growing myself. So that is something that I love to do.
You mentioned two things in your intro, in the last part of your intro, that kind of summarize my apparent vision board. If I looked at my vision board,
Yes.
and I could summarize it with one word, money.
Oh, yes.
So you're definitely my person. It's like
Oh, yes.
it's like if you give me the money.
Yes, the money. We
Marjorie,
need to make it.
why does it always boil down to money?
Money, not necessarily, but yes. Not necessarily, but yes. So why money is, I go back to the scriptures, especially those that are believers.
Yeah.
One of my favorite is the Deuteronomy 8:18.
Yeah.
And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he that gives you power to make wealth. So whenever I remember, I'm like, what? I have the power. Let's make this wealth.
Wow.
So,
I love it.
Yes. So
I love
we
it.
need it.
Marjorie, let me first take you back. What's your background? I mean, financial literacy coach. You're big into team buildings and things like that. These are not things they taught us in school.
Sure. Yes.
So how did we end up here?
How did we end up here? I also sometimes sit and wonder, but how did we get here? But I'm a teacher by profession. Yes. Of course, it wasn't initially by choice, but I think God had better plans, like they always say.
Yeah.
So I did business studies with education at Chambogo. We are the people you used to make fun of. If you ever made fun of a Chambogo person, we are the ones, please.
But look.
Look where we are. Oh my goodness. Yes. So I always love to joke about that because I remember back then when we were in school, it was a big thing. Like,
Yes.
"So you're from Chambogo, how?"
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we thank God we turned out good. And Chambogo is a good university, definitely.
It is.
So just slightly back when I was in my senior six, you know how we fill the job forms.
Yeah.
So I had put BCom and all these very nice courses. And then HM was like, just put education, never know. Just add it there.
It had to be the HM.
I know the HM of the school because initially I have never wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And why? Because I saw what teachers used to go through, like the bullying from the students. You know how they nickname teachers and all. I'm like, that cannot be me. So I dreaded being a teacher. So I added that. I'm like, okay, let me just add it there. I think it was like fifth. I think we used to put 4 to 5
Yes.
choices.
Yes.
So I put it as the last choice.
Yes.
And as
Fate would have it.
fate would have it, I was given government sponsorship, but education. And I kept on, but government, did you see all these other courses that I had lined up? Like, surely. But yeah, so I had to do it because, yes, I was grateful for the government sponsorship. But of course, being education, I was like, anyway, let me go do it because this is what God has given me. So I went in, did the course. The first semester was, but the beauty about the course I did was it's business.
Yeah.
So we used to have people that are doing business studies, which is business administration, same thing. So we used to study everything, HR, procurement, finance, all those things. And then for us that had with education, we just had extra classes with education. So the beauty about that course, it gave us both worlds, the business world and the education side. And we had an option to either go the education lane, where we are teaching business subjects, or go into the business world.
Yes.
And so I did the course, and my first job was actually in the business world. So, of course, we did the school practice. We went back to school to teach because that was required of us to graduate.
Yes.
But I remember even when I was teaching the students, I always had this urge to encourage at least one person out there. So that's what we used to do. So I would teach, yes, but I end up now motivating the kids. You can do it. And my A-level school was somewhere very far away in Masaka. So I had to go back and inspire my people. Tell them you can study from here and come back and be great.
Yes.
People are like, were we together in Gayaza? I'm like, no, please. No, please. That wasn't me. Were you Namagunga? I'm like, no.
That requires a very short answer.
I know. Yes.
Marjorie,
yes, it's okay.
Okay, so I can't help. Teachers. You know what they say about teachers?
Yes.
They don't grow old. Are you also one of those?
I think that's now one of the benefits that I'm getting. One of the benefits that I'm enjoying.
So, you get out, you do the teaching practice, you graduate.
Yes.
And then what?
And then after graduating, because I didn't want to stay a teacher necessarily, I went back. I told them, I'm like, this is not the life that I want. Yes, I love to teach, but I felt like I need to impact more people than just a classroom. That has always been my thing. So the first job I got was, I was finance and operations. It's a chain of dental clinics. So I was there, finance and operations. I did the things that I studied, HR and all of those things. But mostly you learn on the job. That even when you have a degree, you're like, how do they do this? So I learned most on the job. And then after that, I went back into teaching somehow. Why? Because I have this dream to put up like a daycare of sorts, or daycare night care of sorts, but to deal with not only us, our children, but like a diverse kind of breed of children.
Yes.
So I went to, that's how I ended up at Econs International, to see how do they handle international students? What are they even studying? How is it going that side? So I quit my job as a finance and operations on very good grounds, very good to a fact that I even did their team building over the weekend. So we are still in very good terms with my former boss. He's really, really supportive. So I went back in there to see how is this done? What can I do better? And while we were at it, COVID hit. Yes. So that is when, I feel like that is when Coach Marjorine was born, under the lockdown. That is when my story of coaching and all the things I'm doing actually started. Yes, because we were home, and so I kept wondering, okay, so what is it that I love? I've always loved to read a lot. Anything growth space, I'll be there.
The teacher in you.
I think so. I think so. So that's the time where I was reading a lot, doing this. But even before, I was always invited to schools to speak to the students.
Yeah.
So I would that's a passion that I had. So I would go to schools, speak to students. Oh, you can make it career guidance. What do you want to be? What do you need to do? Things like that. So someone along the way told me, but this can actually be a real thing that you're doing.
Yes.
People are speakers and they get paid. I'm like, what? You get paid to speak? Okay, let's see what we can do here. So during the lockdown, that's when I got on this journey.
Yeah.
To learn how to be a coach, how to be a speaker, reading books, taking all these online courses, webinars at that time because of the lockdown. So that is how the journey started.
Wow. So I as you tell your short journey, okay, long journey in a
Yes.
very short whatever, I can't help but feel like we make our plans, but the Lord guides
God,
our steps. I mean,
yes.
you just can't imagine you're trying to get BCom and all that.
Yes.
Head teacher encourages you to do education. Now you know education is not your
Yes.
thing, but how has the journey been like, Marjorie? Out of lockdown, I have had the privilege of looking at the profile of clients you have served, and
Oh wow.
I still feel like how I felt the first time I met you.
Yes.
When I grow up, or when Apt Media grows up. How
Not
do
at
you
all.
how has the journey been like? How has it been tapping into some of those decent clients you have been blessed to serve? What is it like there?
I'm also still shocked when I look at that profile. I remember we were putting it up for, customer service week and all of that.
Yeah.
So I told the team to put up all the clients we've worked with to thank them. They said me, I'm like, what? We've worked on all these people.
Yeah.
So that just shows us that God can mean to amaze you.
Yeah.
So definitely it has been God. But also, I believe one of the other things that has helped is for us to stay teachable.
Yeah.
I tell people everyone needs a mentor. When I started out on this journey, I was just a personal growth coach and finances. Like I would do it for one-on-ones and then people out here. And I remember my very first mentor and coach was Bahati Hilda Sabiti.
Yeah.
So she guided me on this journey. I started going out. I remember she gave me my very first opportunity on TV, Spirit TV. So that is how that journey started. And then along the way, I met a gentleman because I was speaking to a friend of mine. I had started trainings in small companies here and there. So I was speaking to a friend. I was like, what does it take for me to come and train you people at Centenary? He's like, what? Centenary, we have our coach.
I know.
We have our in-house
They can afford the
trainer.
best in the country.
Yes. And they definitely had the best. So I'm like, okay, who is this person? I need to meet them. So he told me about the person. And then, of course, I went, did some check on them to find out who is this person. And he was really doing well. So I remember one time he called me. He's like, oh, I've talked to him. He's actually here. I've told him about you, that you're a speaker, you're starting out, and that you'd like to be mentored of sorts or coached by him. And he was really, really open. So I met him eventually. And he is actually the person who introduced me to the corporate spaces. Because for me, out here, people were like, hey, Majo, Chikuba, you're doing well. Because they would see you on TV here and there, on NTV and all those things. They call you maybe to schools. You come and do the small businesses and all of that. But I remember he gave me the very first platform on a corporate platform.
Yeah.
And I've never looked back. Because the thing about the work that we do is when someone sees you doing something for another company, then they're like, okay, so that means you're good at it. Come and do it here. So that is how the journey has been from one company to another, to where we are.
I don't think you ever get to forget your first corporate client.
I cannot.
Your first corporate client, the person who takes a chance on you.
Yes.
And the person who takes a chance on you, and then all these doors open.
Yes.
Because other organizations have seen you serving them, build a bit of credibility and all that.
True.
Marjorie, this whole mentorship thing, personal mentor, especially for business people, would you say it's one of the most underrated things that business people do? Because I feel like we are all short callers in our spaces, in our businesses. You walk into your space, everyone calls you sir,
Yes.
and then, but you have no one to put you in line.
That's true. To hold you accountable and get things done. Yes.
It's really, really, really interesting. Marjorie, it's January.
Yes.
I have the last two guests I've had here have had one word in common.
Okay.
Vision.
Yes.
Without it,
the people perish. Yes.
Are we going to perish in 2025?
I hope you don't perish in 2025.
Marjorie, I have to thank you in front of my viewers for facilitating a bunch of kids just recently to put their vision boards together. I received a call like at 8 p.m. in the night from one of the kids that was there. They left a little early and said, thank you so much, Uncle Solo. We had a great time. We had so much fun.
Wow.
And they loved it.
Wow.
And the interesting thing is that some of the people, I could say many people who have never done a vision board, it's such a grueling exercise.
Yes.
But by the time you're done,
True.
it gets you thinking it's so exciting. Let's talk about this whole vision boarding thing.
Yes.
Someone also told me it's spiritual. It doesn't
True.
matter what faith you're from.
Yes.
Let's talk vision boarding.
We need it.
What do we need to know about vision boarding?
Vision boarding, like you said, I feel like vision boarding is one of those things that is holding people back from the gap between where you are now and where you want to go. I feel like it's a vision board. A vision board can
That's
actually
simple.
help you bridge that gap. Because vision boards, you know how you start your business? Like you said, you are the business owner, you get into your office and you're like, Sasa, okay, what do we do? And all those things. Now imagine you don't have a vision for your business. And more so, you don't have a vision board. Because it's easy to have a vision. People say, I know my goals. I have them in the head. But that is why you're not achieving them. Because they're in your head. So a vision board is one of those things that will help put that good, sweet pressure on you to get things done. Because when you leave it in your head, you're like, okay, I'll achieve it. If God willing, I'll achieve it this year. If not, whenever God chooses that I achieve it. But I love to remind people that this is actually an instruction from God. He is telling you that write that vision down. What is it that you want to achieve? Make it plain, and that's exactly what I'm going to bless. So what is God blessing you? Blessing this year? I remember I was listening to a podcast recently, and the person is like, you're excited about the year, new year, this year. But God is asking, where is the plan that you want me to bless? You're saying, God, open doors, God bless. Which plan can I bless? Like he's also looking at you like, what is there for me to bless? So a vision board is one of those things that you take to God. It's like that faith board that you know what, God, I can't do this. I'm relying on you. Because that is when we get to the next level. Because if you're setting the small goals and you can achieve them, you're like, okay, you get comfortable. You don't grow. But a vision board is one of those things that stretch you out of your comfort zone, and then it gets you to rely on God. You're like, you know what? This is what I want to achieve. I'm not sure how I'm going to get there, but we are going to get it done. And the beauty about vision and setting it is that the provision comes. For example, allow me just put this out here. Just a few minutes ago, I've told you about a vision, something that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
And just in an instant, you talked about someone that I need to get things done. Now, guys, that is provision. If I didn't have the vision, we would not be talking about that person that you talked about. So what do you have that God has to bless? Where is the plan? What is it that you want? Because one of the visions that I have on my vision board is Unravel Africa.
Yeah.
Even yesterday when we were with the children, I had to put that head office, the headquarters of Unravel
Africa.
And they're definitely not in Uganda. So that stretches me. Of course, it is scary, but you're like, okay. It sends a message to your brain that, okay, now this is where we are headed. That means when you have that vision, then the way you do work now changes. Because now you know I'm headed here. I'm not just opening my shop. Whoever comes. If they don't want, No, it is not business as usual. So you get to challenge yourself. You get to do things the right way from the get-go because you have a vision.
Marjorie, you've rendered me speechless. Every time, every sentence you drop, I had like a question. I had like a question. But I'll come back. They'll. You say I didn't write them down.
Yes, it's okay. We are flowing.
Marjorie, talk about provision. Someone broke that one English word into two. That provision is actually two words together.
Yes.
Provision.
Yes.
For the vision.
Exactly.
So if you do not have the vision, there will be nothing for it. So there is no provision.
Exactly.
Vision first.
Yes.
Marjorie, without giving too much away, in a minute or two maybe,
Yes.
like 1, 2, 3 things to guide someone to start thinking about their vision. What aspects? Many of us, when we'll do our vision board, it may boil down to money.
Yes.
Because you look at everything there, you're like, you know what? If I had enough money, this
Can
vision
do
would
this
be sorted in a day.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
So what aspects of life, how can we approach this vision boarding thing so that it doesn't boil down to, small things like money?
That's true. So usually, there are two kinds of vision boards. You can have a personal vision board,
Yes.
where we look at the areas of your life.
Yes.
And I usually tell people it is important. Like you said, usually when people see vision, they're like, money. I want to make this kind of money this
Yes.
year. But that's not just it.
Yeah.
So you look at the different areas of your life, because I like to remind people you're a whole human being.
Yeah.
So you look at the different aspects. The spiritual, what is it that you want to achieve?
Yeah.
The physical,
Yeah.
what is it that you want to achieve? The intellectual, very important. There are people that tell me, I hate books. I last read when I was at campus.
Yes.
So it's important for us to set goals, even in the intellectual. What is it that you want to learn? When it comes to social, what are your social goals or relationship goals? Maybe you want to get married. Maybe you want to go for a family vacation, or you want to visit a friend, or you want whatever it is that you want to do. That is a social goal. Then you also need the health goals.
Yes.
And after that, you also need the career goals. That is if you're in career, or business goals if you're a business person.
Yeah.
So you realize I haven't yet even talked about the financial goals. So there are all these other things. And then definitely the financial
The
goal as
financial
well, because
goals.
it's also important to have this, the finances for us to be able to get the other things that we want to achieve. So that also helps. So look at the different areas of your life, the spiritual, the intellectual, the physical, your health goals, your intellectual goals, your financial goals. Put them down and then get the images that match those. Because sometimes people say, I want to make more money this year. That's not a goal. That's just a wish, I think. Because we've been setting that for the longest time and it never happened. So what is more money? So you need to define the goal that you have as much as possible. Because if you say, I want to be richer this year, what does that mean? Because you may get an extra 10K. You're richer by 10,000, but is that what you want? So being clear, and also getting out of our comfort zone a bit. Because I know, yes, they have to be realistic, but also they have to be big enough that you're not in your comfort, but also not too big that they seem so unrealistic or unattainable. And that is why I tell people, have the long term, the dream vision, that the ideal life, maybe 30 years from now, what is it that I want to do? Then also have some short term, like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 2 years, this year. The beauty is we are having this at the beginning of the year. So ask yourself, imagine it's December 31st, 2025. What do you want to look back at and say, because of this has been my best year ever? So you can start there. This year, what is it that you want to achieve? 1 or 2, 3 things that you want to achieve. And then you can have the bigger goals as well. But don't have just the big goals and you have nothing to work on immediately, because then you'll keep procrastinating. That even the big goals, break them down. If you say I want to build a house, don't just put on the vision board, build a house, and that's it. No. By what time? And then break that goal down. Say, if I want to build this year, that means by like Feb, I need to have identified the land. Exactly. Where are you going to build? So get the land. Right now, you need to be finding out how much is that land. Where do I want to build? So find that land. Then maybe say, by next quarter, I'll have got the plan. Maybe you have your architect, they have come up with a plan and things like that. Then you say, maybe by the following quarter, I need to have started the foundation. That is how we achieve goals. Some people find me and say, but Marge, your vision boards don't work. And I say, yes, they don't. It is you that works. It is you that is supposed to work the vision board, not the other way around. Because some people do the vision board, they put pictures, they just hang it there, and they look at it. Then what? Looking at it is reminding you of the things you have to do. Whenever you see it, run to work. Whenever you see it, run to work. Not look at it and then sleep again. No. It does not work that way.
Our leader
Yes.
in oh, by the way, I know Marjorie from BNI.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
if you're in business and you're not in BNI, I don't know what you're doing.
Oh,
You have
yes.
brilliant people like these ones every day hanging out.
Thank you.
So our leader this morning shared something. I'm not sure you've seen it here on our call, but shared something about success being abnormal. Said there's absolutely nothing normal about success.
Wow.
Said if for starters, only one person wins. Only one person wins a
Wow.
race. If that's not,
Yes.
you have to be a certain level of abnormal
True.
to be the winner.
Yes.
I think it was winning is abnormal. Then said, if you're going to win, then you have to do all the abnormal things
Yes.
that the other guys are not
willing to do. Yes.
that are not willing to do. And immediately I saw it. I sent it to a few people, some people on my team, and I said, what abnormalities are we into today?
Yes, I like it.
Since morning, what abnormal thing have you done
Yes.
today
Yes.
to win at whatever you want to win at? Then what, a few days ago I read somewhere something forwards, and I even tweeted it: vision beyond your resources.
Exactly. Exactly. That is what we need.
That you look at and it just scares you.
Exactly.
Marjorie, I am going, viewers and listeners, I'm going to drop, you better be a viewer, because
I know.
I want to drop Marjorie's contact, socials and website in the description below. You can reach out to her so that she can delve deeper into the 5 aspects of life. Some of us like to call them 5 capitals, the spiritual, social, relational, and how that can help you break down your vision into some one-pager vision board that is visual, that reminds you of what you're pushing to do out there. Marjorie, when I invited you for this podcast, I know you had something in mind. Is there something you had prepared to say to your people that we probably not touched on?
Not necessarily specific, but because we're talking about vision right now, and we've talked about them being willing to put in the action. It's very important. So as we start this year, yes, we have challenged you to come up with a vision. Very important. If you're watching this, like you said, we hope you're watching this. If you're watching this or maybe listening, at least that is the baseline. Start with a vision. Then after, come up with action plans. Because having the vision and having the images is not enough. It's just the starting point. It's only the people that put in the work that achieve the things that they've put on their vision boards. So get out of the comfort zone. Like you said, success is abnormal. So you need to be willing to do the things that the rest of the people are not willing to do. And that's why I think they say wealth belongs to maybe the 5% or 2%, because the rest of the 98% are for us. Okay, I'm not there. That too. But the 98 are not willing to do anything. And also I saw somewhere that success is not about luck. Anyone that you look at out there and you feel they are successful, guess what? They are putting in the work that you never get to know, maybe. So when you see someone, you admire them, oh my God, this person is... They are putting in real work behind the doors, behind closed doors. So maybe you are still in the work phase, like you're still putting in the work and you don't see the results. Keep at it. Because what we see out here are the results. We never get to know all the hard work you put in behind the closed doors. And that is why when we see maybe champions or Olympics, people that are in the sports arena, we praise them. Oh my God, that footballer, oh my God. We never get to see their training hours. We never get to see all the things they go through. So whatever it is that you're going through right now to try to get to your vision, to your goal, it is worth it. Keep putting in the work, and it's just a matter of time. And that's why I love that Habakkuk 3:3, but 2:2, and also that 2:3 that says, even when the dreams delay, wait for it, because it will surely come to pass. It will not tarry. So maybe you feel like your vision is not coming to life. You put in the work. We may be talking work. You're like, me, I've put in the work, but I don't see anything. Keep at it, because it will surely come to pass.
I am led to some people listen to this on a podcast or they are driving or whatever it is, quickly share your number, the one you're comfortable sharing, that people can either reach or reach you or reach Unravel on.
Okay.
Share the number, then I say something.
Okay. So my number is 0774 512359. 0774 512359. That's my WhatsApp number.
Thank you
Feel
very
free to
much.
reach out.
Business only, please. Business only. I am also led to the people who look at vision, but vision boards don't work. Do you have some stories? Because me, I have a story. I can tell you Studio 84
Yes.
is a product of a vision board.
Wow. Wow.
I can tell you Studio
Amazing.
84 is a product of a vision board. That's a story for another day.
Yes.
What stories do you have?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have so many stories. Like you said, Studio 84, Unravel is a product of a vision board. You know how it happened? Like I shared here, initially it was just me. People know Coach Marjo is doing this, doing the other. And then I remember one time when I was working on my vision board, I talked to myself and said, you know what? Okay, yes, you're doing well here, but for you to go further and to impact even more, you need a team. You need to start a company. So I got my vision board. I got a picture of a team. I put it there. By then, it wasn't even registered. I didn't even have a name, but I'm like, you know what? I need to find a name. I need to start a company and things like that. It was on the vision board. And now Unravel is here. And we're going global.
Global.
From the vision board.
Already global.
Yes.
You told me about global yesterday.
Yes.
But anyhow,
Yes.
now, my story, Marjorie,
Yes.
I didn't even hang it up to look at it. I put it on
Yeah.
and I kept it.
Okay.
And like months later, I looked back. I'm like, but this vision thing.
What?
I'm like, no way. This is something I'd talked about for a while now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Anyway, you'll know my story. Marjorie,
Yes.
thank you very much for honoring us at Business Chronicles here at Studio 84. It was such a good session that we have. I can't wait to have you back. Maybe like
Oh, yes.
media or after a quarter to see how far this vision thing has gone. Maybe
True.
we've removed some things from the
Yes,
vision board
yes.
and we can share. Viewers and listeners, it's been Marjorine Nantambi from Unravel, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Business Chronicles. My name is Solomon Tumwesigye. I hope you learned something today. If you didn't, I'll pray for you. But I know you learned something today. Thank you, and God bless you.